Hi, this is Greg Johnson with Blue Book Services, and this is Week in Review. I'm joined as usual by Pamela Riemann-Schneider. Pamela's on vacation this week, yet I still convinced her to get on this weekly video. And Pamela, it does look beautiful where you are.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm still in my office. I just, staycationing right now and in the times of COVID here. But I'm dreaming of beautiful pineapples and gorgeous weather because I actually have some pineapples here. This is a Honeyglow, which I bought at HEB.
Nice.
But I bought it to go with my Pinkglow, the petite Pinkglow pineapple that Del Monte sent me. That smells amazing, but I haven't cut into yet because I wanted to have it as a prop for the week in review. So you lose it if I go over here, or maybe if I don't even know. I don't even know how this thing works. So I have a pineapple that we're going to try this weekend because I have poor work-life boundaries and work on vacation. And then my boys and I also finished talking about, oh, come back, the Yowzer pepper from Sunset Produce. These are actually really good, by the way.
So we will see those videos next week, huh?
Yes, we will see those videos next week. Even though I'm on vacation, the wheels of produce journalism continue to turn. So we will have some fun videos about those. Hopefully this pineapple is as interesting as everyone seems to think it is. So the petite, this is actually the petite Pinkglow, which is different than the full-size one, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I've heard that those are often mixed into drink concoctions.
I have heard that as well, and perhaps I will round out my vacation with a drink with a little frilly umbrella in it or something of some sort. We'll see. But while I've been relaxing, you've been working hard. Had to break out the calculator for one of our top stories this week. What's going on with food boxes?
I did. Well, at the end of last week, the USDA released the round 4 contracts, which we were all waiting for. And as we know, the USDA said they'll fund that program with $500 million. So it's a little bit smaller than previous rounds. So the key thing was to look at who got the contracts and then compare it to who had the contracts in round 3. And what I found was there were a lot of companies who had huge contracts in round 3 who got no contracts in round 4. Now, of course, I didn't have time to reach out to all of them. I did reach out to some of them. Most of the ones, well, all of the ones I talked to who had round 3 and not round 4 contracts did not want to speak on the record for various reasons. Presumably, they feel like they'll be in the program again. But there was some speculation that price might have been involved. And, one of the things I did in the story that I put on the site that a lot of people clicked on was I just listed companies that had over $10 million contracts that did not get round 4 contracts. And they included huge ones like Cisco had a $114 million contract and they did not get one in round 4. And Produce Alliance was almost 80 million. There were some companies that really had big contracts. And then I did get a hold of one of the ones who didn't have a 3rd round contract, but did have a 4, or I take that back. They had a small 3rd round contract. It was Oaks Farms, and they had an $800,000 contract in round 3, and then they bid and were accepted with a $68 million contract in round 4. So huge. And I talked to them, and they were excited about it. And not only were they confident that they'd be able to fill it in the next 7 weeks, but they actually said they bid for a much bigger contract, and they still think they could do that if they were given the opportunity. But another thing I did was, since USDA lists the amount of the contract and the amount of boxes that are awarded, all you have to do is some simple math and find out what the cost per box is. And then I compared that to round 3. And in general, round 4 per box numbers are smaller. Almost all of them were in the high $30 to low $40 per box bill range, except for the outliers like Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and Alaska. And I even compared some of the companies that had 3rd round contracts and got 4th round contracts and compared the box price. And just for instance, I'm not picking on anyone, there aren't that many companies that got 3rd and 4th, but for instance, Tulsa Fruit Company got both, and they charged $44 a box in round 3, and for round 4 it's $38.70. So they dropped it, more than $5 for the next round. I didn't get a hold of them. I tried to, but I wasn't able to find out if there was a reason for that, if they got more efficient, or if they felt like they needed to have a lower number to get the contract.
Well, presumably you would hope, I mean, maybe some of these businesses decided they didn't need the business, and they didn't have the time to deal with government contracts, which can be a little challenging. And then as far as Oaks Farm, isn't Florida coming into season for a lot of the winter veg, perhaps? I don't know, I'm speculating. I can't remember. I can just remember fresh from Florida being a big deal in the winter. So perhaps they wanted to give a bigger contract to a local sourcing agent in an area that's going to be in a really heavy season, because everything else is kind of chilling out for the winter. Not a whole lot going on, and for example, New Jersey and New York and things like that, other than apples. That could be a reason that Florida grower got a whole lot more.
They said they do source a lot from Georgia and Florida for the boxes.
Yeah, it does. A little birdie did tell me, though, that there could be Create a Date 2.0. There's another caterer that got multiple $1 million contract that we'll have to look into, and another Texas caterer called the RK Group. So that's something to take a look at as well. One would hope that the USDA had learned from giving tens of millions of dollars to a caterer with no fresh produce sourcing experience on this scale, but never say never. So that's
well, of course, I wanted to talk to USDA about their reasoning, and I've reached out to them several times this week and have not heard back yet. So hopefully they will reach back out to me. That's my hope.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that pretty much everyone in government's a little busy right now. So
we've covered a little bit of that. There's not a whole lot of produce, and unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of answers still. So
no, I don't think we're going to get any definitive answers until next week. But that's it for this week's Produce Reporter Week in Review. Stay tuned next week for when I crack open this Pinkglow Petite Pinkglow pineapple and have a Kardashian brunch with my kids here in my house, because I did not go to the beach for my vacation.
The real Kardashians did.
I'm sure they did. They all got rapid COVID tests before they did. I'll see you next week. And if you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, you need to go to producebluebook.com and sign up.